So let's jump from there into our discussion point, which is the question, are green watches becoming a thing? Jason?
I think we're starting to see a lot of brands look for the next blue or the next gray. But yeah, I think green is coming on strong. I don't know that it's going to be everywhere so quickly, but probably the next 6 months or a year, you're going to see green become the next dial. You know, especially with brands like Panerai really pushing that concept. Hopefully not too much. You know, we don't want to get too much overpopulation from a specific brand, but I can see other brands jumping on board.
Yeah, this is an interesting trend because like Jason said earlier, and I think he really made an important point distinguishing between sort of novelty greens that are maybe super vivid, super bright, there to catch your attention, and greens that could stand the test of time. Like when you think of the green dial on the original PAM 382 Bronzo, it fit the beautiful bronze. It looked nautical. It looked like it paid tribute to Panerai's military origins, but it also looked like the aged fixtures in bronze, like almost what the case would become in the future. And so it looked really good. It was synergistic, and it's still just as appealing now 6 years later. So the green watch trend, let's kind of trace where it goes from here, but let's look back first to see how we got here. Green dials are not new. It's not a new thing. We've seen them periodically in the past, especially from Rolex. The reference 1803 Stella dials from the 70s were the first time we saw them in any kind of volume from a major maker, especially with that vivid green and lacquer. Now, we saw a handful during the mid-2000s, like the Jaeger LeCoultre Amvox R-Alarm, the bigger 44mm with yellow accents and a green dial and a green strap. And we saw one from Gerald Genta occasionally. Gerald Genta, of course, playful, colorful, really trying to make its mark with a sort of, I would say, almost Dadaist watch aesthetic during the 2000s. And from IWC, of course. There was also the occasional retailer special. That's the Boris Becker chronograph. That's the Zeg and Cerlati Big Pilot. And then, of course, Rolex, arguably the green stalwart, launched the Hulk, a follow-up to its previous green Submariner in 2010. But then in 2014, and I don't know if this was a trendsetter or if it was just first impression, but FP Journe launched the Jade Tourbillon, which I saw being made in Geneva a week ago, and it's just as impressive today as it was back then. And this seemed to be the vanguard of an actual trend. In 2015, Jaeger LeCoultre launched the Grand Reverso Tribute to 1931 London, 26 pieces that went nuclear on the secondary market. I've only ever seen one come up pre-owned, and it was for $100,000. The watch cost about a tenth of that, maybe less when it was new. Okay, now something is for real, and it's gathering like a storm. You mentioned Oris in green. In 2016, we saw a host of new green dials from Rolex. The Daytona, the Date 840, the Oyster Perpetual, more than usual for them. And Oris Divers 65 in green for under $2,500 US, like Jason mentioned, is a compelling and somewhat trendy new offering that I feel is going to stand the test of time because, like you said, that's kind of a forever green, not a novelty green.
Yeah, exactly. I think the thing that's important with green dials, too, is there's so much gradation. It's just like blue. There's so many places that different brands can go that you don't have to copy the same color. So, you know, there's only so much white or so much silver, so much black, but colors that have a rich palette like that, like blue, green has that versatility. So anywhere from like the Jade Journe.
Yes.
It's a very, you know, the jade's beautiful. It's a very pale green all the way to like the darkest, richest greens. There's such scale there to play with that I think we're in for, yeah, I think we're in for a ride, you know.
I think it's interesting that you called it the new blue. Are we just, I mean, I guess I could say this year we've seen the 2017 Panerai Boutique series that we mentioned, the 735, 736, 737. And at the opposite end of the price spectrum, we saw the Hamilton Ponderope for under $1,200. And in the middle, there would be something like the new Reverso Classic Large with the marble dial in green. Are we just living in a colorful era of watches? Like, we've also seen oranges, we've seen yellow. Is that just like the thing now, or is it going to run its course eventually?
I mean, you're always going to have your tried and true classics. You know, everybody needs a black dress watch. Everybody needs a black sports watch. But I think what we're running into is you're getting guys that are collecting, getting guys that are buying versatility. So when you're buying versatility, you want something different.
True.
And, you know, if you're buying a sports watch, you want something fun, why not grab that that AP diver that's yellow. You know, why not grab something that's gonna really stand out on the wrist? You know, would it be my only watch? Something like bright and colorful? Probably not. But that's the fun of having diversity.
That's a good point. Is there any particular reason other than the fact that it's a Rolex, why the Hulk, you know, the Submariner V, why that has been so enduring? I mean, that's now 7 model years. It's not fading. It's actually getting stronger.
Yeah. Any particular reason? No. I mean, it's a Submariner. It's stainless steel. It's a you know, very sought after sport model watch that Rolex seems to not ship very often. They are hard to find at retail. So anytime something becomes scarce on retail level, the secondary market bumps up on it. And then, you know, when your friend can't get one and you can, you're willing to pay a little bit more. You see the market jump up a little bit. And then what happens is people start seeing watches selling for way over retail. And then they have one that they bought for retail. Why not sell it? And, you know,
snowball.
it's a cycle.
And as winter approaches, that's an appropriate analogy. I'd say right here, this is a case of being in the right place at the right time with the Hulk. Rolex, with an existing green reference, suddenly runs into a market where green is suddenly hot, having constrained supply over the years and always built fewer of the green subs than, let's be honest, the conventional black ceramic. All of a sudden, this watch became a commodity and a tradable one at that. I would ask, what colors would you like to see next, since we are in the era of the colorful watch?
You know what? It's kind of a weird color, but I like brown.
Okay.
Brown dial. You don't see them too much. I think it's also there's a large gradation scale in brown as well. I think that's a great piece. I like cream color dials, so if you're going to go that brown route, like a very beige, pale beige, green, brown, or cream color, you know, there's a lot of ways to go. I mean, do you have any specific colors that you have coming?
I mean, I'll be honest. One thing I haven't seen a lot of it is orange. I mean, there are some color laws. You know, in the world of automobiles, you're never going to see a pink Ferrari. In the world of watches, you rarely see an orange watch. Although Omega is, I would say, skirting outright orange with the big blue Planet Ocean. They've got an awful lot of orange on that watch. That's something I would like to see. And it's something I would like to see outside the Doxa product line. I think that would be fun. I'm all about novelty, and I'm a little bit crazy. So, again, I'm the kind of person who would buy one of those crazy watches to keep. So, orange, I'd like to see that.